In your statutes I shine. This love is so divine. Yeah. Woke up to the sunrise, opened up my scroll. A world chasing trends, but I'm chasing after your soul. They say conform, I say stand on your love. To him in my veins, got that cold fire raw. Under the wings of Torah, I'm safe and I'm free. Yahuwah, obey your word is where my ruach wanna be. Hey, living set apart, yeah, we different by design. Oh, yeah, in your statutes I shine. This love is so divine. Friends switching lanes, running after fame. I'm running to commandments, calling on your name. Yahuwah, my refuge under feathers I hide. Torah is my guide, in you I abide. Under the wings of Torah, I'm safe and I'm free. Yahuwah, obey your word is where my ruach wanna be. Hey, hey, hey. Living set apart, yeah, we different by design. Oh, in your statutes I shine. This love is so divine. Trials hit hard, but your law is my shield. Culture pulls left, but your way is the field. Feasts on my calendar, Shabbat my reset. Set apart life, best decision, yeah. Under the wings of Torah, I'm safe and I'm free. Yahuwah, obey your word is where my ruach wanna be. Hey, 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 I live and set apart. Yeah, we different by design. Oh, and in your statutes I shine. This love is so divine. Hey, 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 hey. Now the light is spreading others, catching the glow. Seeing how it's cool to let your Torah flow. Whole generation rising different and bold. Under your wings we shine like pure gold. Under the wings of Torah, I'm safe and I'm free. Yahuwah, obey your word is where my ruach wanna be. Hey, 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 I live and set apart. Yeah, we different by design. Oh, in your statutes I shine. This love is so divine. Oh, no more chains. I'm free in your ways. Hallelujah, lifting praise every day. In your shadow I rest, on your promises I stand. Yahuwah, forever this is the plan.
Shabbat Shalom, beautiful family out there. My name is Jason,
I'm Caden. I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
and we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And we can't thank you guys enough for being a part of our family, for being a part of our entire little group here. We love you guys more than anything. And this is, for those who have never, ever been a part of the Yahuwah and the Torah reading before, welcome, welcome, welcome. We love you all. We can't thank you enough for giving this channel a chance to listen. And it's not really giving this channel a chance to listen, because this channel is 100% about Torah keeping. And if you guys have never even heard what the word Torah means, let me explain this first of all, what the word Torah means. A lot of us have come to the understanding from these religious systems that Torah means law, and that by us having this law that is above us, somehow we don't get the greatness of life, like the bondage or the old ways of Moshe. It's just we're here in the 21st century, and really we have a new way forward, right? And this is what the religious systems will tell you. And I was having a discussion this morning with a brother who he's in prison, and he is he's a murderer. He actually killed 2 neo-Nazi guys at one point. And he's struggling right now between what he calls Judaism versus Christianity. And we've had some conversations before, but I've never had the conversation with this brother, and I did have this conversation today. And for those that don't understand, when you take the name of any kind of religion at all as your guide to life, then by default you fall under the same doctrines as this guide to life. Now, if you take any religion whatsoever, you can take the 400,000 different religions that are out there, and you can present them before any one of us. And when you see a set of doctrine, when you see things that are different than what scriptures say, then we have to come back to the understanding of, do we want to choose the way of our Creator? Do we want to choose the way of Yahuwah? Or are we good living in a world without organizational rules? Now, going back to this word law, I think the correct interpretation of the definition of Torah means instructions. So if we go back to that understanding of what the Torah is, we've been given a set of instructions. Now, it is inside this set of instructions that we learn everything. We learn how to treat our Creator. We learn how He wants us to how He wants us to celebrate Him, how He wants us to work during the week, how He wants us to take a day off, which is called the Shabbat day. Now, when you're in the religious system, all of these so-called good instructions have been nailed to the cross, right? How many times have we all heard, the laws of our Creator have been nailed to the cross because a fictional character named Jesus, and the name is fictional, but there was an entity, and his name was not called Jesus. His name was called Yahushua. Some say Yeshua. And when you get the understanding that there were no J's in the Hebrew language, and the letter J wasn't even invented until the 1500s, then we have to come back to the same questions of, why do we call some guy a mythical name? And so all of this comes to the truth, and all of this comes to the Torah truth. And when we walk in the Torah, we very much learn what the truth is. Without the Torah, we're walking in darkness. Without the good instructions of our Creator, we are walking in darkness. And so it is with that all of us as a family would like to welcome all of you guys out there. We love you guys tremendously. And we got a couple of songs, praise and worship, and we have an incredible reading that we are going to do today. And some exciting news that, we're definitely going to share with all of you guys on this. So while we're doing this, let's get back into our praise and worship with song number 2.
Yahuwah, we lift your Kodesh name, wonders unseen yet perfectly the same. Great engineer, your commands we obey. It's foolish to stray, we choose your way today. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, pick Yahuwah right now. Obedient hearts, before your throne we bow. Yahuwah, creation shouts aloud. Keep your Torah ways and wear your esteem proud. Look at your fingerprint etched in my skin. What's it for, Yahuwah? Let the truth rush in. Without those ridges, every cup would slide. Hands like glass, no grip, no hold, we cry. But you carve bricks and treads like tires on the road, so I can hold your promises, never let them go. Yeah. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, we lift your Kodesh name, wonders unseen, perfectly the same. Great engineer, your commands we obey. It's foolish to stray, we choose your way today. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, pick Yahuwah right now. Obedient hearts, before your throne we bow. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, creation shouts aloud. Keep your Torah ways and wear your esteem proud. Formed in the womb in week 10 to 15 high. Bicycle cells buckle, Turing patterns collide. Even identical twins, their prints never align. Minutiae dots, bifurcations, four lines so fine. Billions alive and still no true designs. All yours divine. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, we lift your Kodesh name. Wonders unseen yet perfectly the same. Great engineer, your commands we obey. It's foolish to stray, we choose your way today. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, pick Yahuwah right now. Obedient hearts, before your throne we bow. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, create but you gave us perfection, touch so sweet. Sensitivity, height, and texture as we feel. Koala echoes it, yet humans reveal. Your signature never changes from birth till we're gone. Permanent blueprint of the master engineer, you alone. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, we lift your Kodesh name. Wonders unseen, yet perfectly the same. Great engineer, your commands we obey. It's foolish to stray, we choose your way today. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, pick Yahuwah right now. Obedient hearts, before your throne we bow. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, creation shouts aloud. Keep your Torah ways and wear esteem. Now hear the audio wave roll off my tongue. Vocal cords, vibrators shaped by palate and lung. Reverberates through teeth, sculpted by lips so true. Complex waveforms dancing just for you. Coakley airsails bathed in liquid grace. Frequency map fire, your brain deciphers your praise. It's tuned 20 to 20K. Foam is crystal clear, so every tongue can worship. Yahuwah, we're here. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, we lift your Kodesh name. Wonders unseen, yet perfectly the same. Great engineer, your commands we obey. It's foolish to stray, we choose your way today. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, pick Yahuwah right now. Obedient hearts, before your throne we bow. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, creation shouts aloud. Keep your Torah ways and wear your esteem proud. All the science bows to the wonders of our King. Yahuwah the creator, that's why the heavens sing. You said, keep my commands, obedience is life. Foolish to wander, chasing shadows and strife. Pick Yahuwah today, walk in his perfect light. The great engineer designed us for his delight. He lift your Kodesh name, wonders unseen, they're perfectly the same. Commands we obey, it's foolish to stray. We choose your way today. Yahuwah, 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 Yahuwah. Obedient hearts, before your throne we bow. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, creation shouts aloud. Keep your Torah ways and wear your esteem proud. The stones were silent until Yahuwah taught them praise. I walked a road of heavy grief. No sound of joy, no sweet relief. The crowd was harsh, the sky was gray. I could not lift my voice to say, Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. And I saw stones beside the way, as if they waited for that day. And Ruach moved upon the ground, and praise became a living sound. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. The rocks began to echo love, like thunder rolling from above. And I remembered who you are. the one who holds the highest star. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. Now even when my voice is weak, I know creation still will speak. For every stone and every flame was made to honor your name. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. Baruch, Baruch, Kadosh is Yahuwah. Let all the earth awake and sing, for Yahushua is King. My cup was empty until Yahuwah poured joy. I carried water, but spilled it all. Through every failure, every fall, my thirst was deep, my strength was low. Yeah, you said you will grow. Fill me, Yahoo, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. I drink the dust of my regret and chain myself in what I meant. But Ruach Kodesh came so near and washed away the stains of fear. Fill me, Yahuwah, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. Then laughter came like living rain, and joy was stronger than my pain. I lifted hands and cried Baruch, for Yahuwah healed what was struck. Fill me, Yahuwah, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. Now every cup I hold will be a sign of His love in me. with shalom and Kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight.
All right, beautiful family. How the heck are you guys doing? Shabbat shalom to everybody out there. Jade, are you ready to open us up with, Kate, open us up with prayer, please.
Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this Shabbat. We thank you for bringing this family back together once again through a week of trials and tribulations. And we thank you for this special day you have set apart for us, for a day of rest, a day that we can spend with you, a day we can spend with this family. I thank you for your guidance upon us, for bringing us back to the Torah, for trying to bring us back to the Holy Land. We thank you for your guidance. We thank you for your blessings. We thank you for your Torah. We thank you for your Son. We thank you for all. We thank you for the Shabbat. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, and so for those who've never been a part of this reading, what you're hearing is you're not hearing rain. You're not hearing. You're hearing our roof make noises. This is actually the sounds that our house makes. Just this. So let me give a quick moment of silence so you guys can all appreciate the roof talking. And that is the roof. And so our apologies for this. This is we live in a little tin roofed house, and so when the sun comes up or goes down or rain comes, you very much hear it in all of this. So guys, here we are. We're on a Shabbat. Can't thank you guys enough. Jade, will you please open us up with an incredible Shema? For those who don't know what the Shema is, guys, it means to hear and obey.
Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words which I command you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children. And you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And shall bind them as a sign in your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
So here are some basic instructions, right? And we don't have to be like super smart, right? We don't have to have the super high IQ. We don't have to be educated, right? We don't have to do a bunch of college to figure this out. We don't have to do much of anything other than basic comprehension, because this is the way of the Torah is simply that. It's basic comprehension. When we learn that the Torah is built for all peoples, all generations, all creeds, all races, it becomes very, very clear that at some point we've been lied to. Well, this lie that we have inherited, that the laws are in the trash or in a dumpster or something of the sort, well, it's hard to understand that when we have scriptures such as Deuteronomy 6 that very clearly talks about this is the Torah is not something, in fact, it's you wouldn't want to nail it to the cross, because our instructions are that we need to love our Creator with all of our heart, mind, and soul. Continuing on in the same thing, the good instructions are that these words, this Torah, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, are what we should impress upon our children. And it's like, wow, what does that mean? What does it mean? It doesn't say just mention it to your children. It says impress them upon your children. Now, for those that understand any kind of impressions on stuff, right, you're not going to leave an impression by simply speaking of it. An impression is going to be something that you get when you raise your offspring in the ways of the Torah. And so when we raise our offspring into the ways of the Torah, that is impressing upon it, right? And it's not just mentioning it, it's living it, right? The whole house, the whole family is part of this. And so these are the good instructions that we have been given today, yesterday, and for all time and all eternity. And Matthew 7 is very clear when it says, "Depart from me, you who are Torahless." Those of you who do not keep the Torah, by our Messiah's own words, have been told that we will not enter the kingdom. We're going to be told to kick rocks. And when he says, "Depart from me," and kicking rocks, that's not welcome to your new crib. That's not enjoy the new place. It's not come on in, we've been waiting for you. It's you're not getting through the door. And a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand that. And the problem is when we take a religious system all of our lives and say, okay, this is what we believe, and this religious system is contrary to what scriptures say, then whose fault is this going to be at the judgment day? Who is going to pay the price of it? Obviously, the greasy kind of style preacher that told you this, he's obviously going to get a little hotter degrees. But at the end of the day, if us as a people, if us as an individual, if us as the people who can read, if we've rejected what the Creator has to say, whose fault is it? Is it anybody other than our own? Is it anybody else's fault that all throughout our 120 years that we were given to be alive, that we never once picked up this book that we had based salvation on, and we've never read it? And so this is what we would like to encourage everybody out there, that we read scriptures with you guys as a big family. We consider all of you guys out there brothers and sisters, and just like Messiah Yahushua said, those who keep the commandments of our Creator are truly our family. And this is a great thing, because all of our family has rejected us. All of our family, we don't even talk to anybody in the family. Very, very rarely do we ever do that, because we're the odd ones, right? We're the we're the sideshows when it comes to being set apart. And yes, we're sideshows because we don't eat pork. We don't worship Ishtar. We don't worship Saturnalia. We don't do all these kind of things. But to the rest of the world, it looks really weird. It looks like we are the sideshows. But the thing is, the sideshows are the people that are literally going to make it, right? When you are a sideshow in terms of Torah, that you're set apart, that you're different, that you don't look like everybody else, that's great. This is what we have been called to do. So with that, my friends and family, we thank you guys very, very much for spending this time with us here and in the future. And I would like to greet everybody out there also in the prisons. And it'll probably be a couple of years before all of you guys in the prisons will hear this. But the Boss Clan is getting ready to start minting up DVDs and shipping them off to the prisoners. And we started it off about 3 years ago when we did the Targums. And we started reading through that with all of you guys. And so we have a couple DVDs that we're going to be going. And this is the reason I encourage all of my family here immediately to be participating in this, and to make sure that they get a little thought in their little minds, that they will put it out on this. And the same for all of you guys out there, right? If you guys, we're going to be going over the Torah commands here in just a second. And when you guys get confused, or when something doesn't make sense to you, or if we need to sit and break down the Torah commands, we're here to do it. This is what we like to do, and this is part of our gig. And so with that, Ms. Nicole, will you please greet our brothers and sisters?
All right, so we have Joanna, Christina, Kayla, Gail, Grace, Sarah, Jeremy and Callan, Honeymoon Stitch, Sister Barb and family, Charles, Scrolla and Jeanette, Jeannie Out of This World, The Grand, Rafael, Caleb and Amanda, still scrolling, Brandy and family, Rafa, Rick Johnson, Yahuwah777, Lynn and Jerome, welcome to you, new name.
What's up, guys?
Sue, still scrolling, walking his ways, haven't seen you for a while, so welcome back. And Trevor, still scrolling. We have somebody from a different channel, I think it's, Sir 5, 2010.
Sweet.
Welcome to you.
All right.
Obi Lines, Chris, welcome.
What's up?
I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize.
Yeah, Yahoo777. I think you're talking about the bot. I think you're probably seeing the thing that says Restream. Mm-hmm. That's actually not a bot per se. That is actually a thing that distributes this chat across Rumble, across wherever else we got it. Eli, can you wake up and let us know? Facebook, yeah. Now I'm just trying to wake up Eli here. Okay, so let's get into this, guys, onto our thing. Nobody else there?
I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's get into our Torah commands. And so, guys, when we're looking at the Torah, it should be, it's a hip, hurrah, Torah. It is something that we should all celebrate. This Torah is a beautiful thing, right? There's nobody that's ever going to convince me that the Torah of our Creator is a bad thing, right? I grew up with that all my life, and I took the bait, and I was like, well, this must be the thing for the old people. But it's not a thing for the old people, because when you look at these Torah commands, they're very, very easy to keep, very easy to understand, and is part of a life that after these dark days, right? We're living in this satanic world. We have this orange demon that's going out there. He's creating the temple to Baal room, right? And so right before our eyes, we have a third temple being built up in the United States. We have golden altars everywhere. We have golden idols everywhere. We have the craziest things going on right now. The cannibals are eating the kids, and the world is just blowing to smithereens right now. It's just out of control. But yet the one foundational piece of this that will never change, that never gets corrupt, that never dies, are these Torah commands. And if you will take these Torah commands and you will walk with them, that they're a part of your life, according to scriptures, these Torah commands are what give us salvation when we are part of the kingdom. To be a part of the kingdom, it's not a once saved, always saved. It is that we take these commands, we read them, we understand them, we learn. We write them so much that any time that somebody came across us and decided that there's something else outside of Torah and they wanted us to do, we would simply think back to these Torah commands and go, this is contrary to what my Creator wants us to do. That means it's a no-go. It was something that we would not do. So in this world where everything is a go, right? Look at the sin and look at the depravity. Look at the Satan is running amok. These are the people I don't want to be stuck with. These are the people I do not want to hang out with for all eternity. We've hung out with them. We've had to look at them, observe them, and watch their deplorable, disgusting ways as they do all this stuff. I don't want anything to do with these people. They're not my government. They're not my people. I didn't vote for them. You guys probably didn't vote for them. I hope you didn't vote for them. But this is the answer to becoming a citizen of the kingdom means that our votes, we vote based on loyalty. If you have taken the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator and said, these are in the trash, I don't care about them, then you have voted Democrat, right? You have literally voted Democrat. And I'm not putting a blur on the Democrats. I'm just saying that literally Democrat. Republicans are totally demons as well. So continuing on, let us vote for the government of the future and not the governments of the past. Every single government ruling right now that is doing this are all temporary. They're all the final generations of this world we're in. So there is no better time than right now to understand these Torah commands, to write them on your heart, mind, and soul, to talk to your family about them. And so for all of this, guys, let's get into this. And commandment number 1, be fruitful.
And number 2, multiply. We are to sprout throughout the earth. Replenish the earth. We are supposed to give back to the earth, not to take away from it. So do it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature. We should be the ones in charge of the animals, not the animals in charge of us. They are bearing, and every tree is for food. Man and woman should build their own families. Man and woman are supposed to start creating their own families. Master sin. We should have control over sin. We should not sin at all. We can do that by keeping the Torah. Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you. If it is a clean animal, Yahuwah gave it to us to eat. Do not eat the blood. Yahuwah says the blood is perfect. Blood is life, and we should not eat it. Walk before me and be perfect. In everything we do, we should strive to be perfect for Yahuwah. There are Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments. His most repeated command, the thing that is most important, is that we keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, that we reverence what he has told us. Every male shall be circumcised to 8 days old. This is a covenant between the male children and Yahuwah, and this is how we have a covenant between us. Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah. The Torah should be passed down through all generations. It doesn't stop at just one. Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations. His name is to be held in the highest regard. It is to be remembered for all of our generations, for years to come. We should remember the name of Yahuwah. Keep the Passover, Pesach. Yahuwah is our first feast of the year. Yahuwah says to keep it. He says it's remembrance for the time that he got his people out of Yisrael. Keep a feast of unleavened bread, the festival of Matzah. It is a 7-day feast where you are to take all leaven out of your house. There's one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew. It does not matter what your race is or where you are from. If you are to be part of Yahuwah's people, you are to keep the same Torah as everyone else. Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah. Yahuwah chose the firstborn. He wants them sanctified. There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah. Yahuwah is the only one we should worship. We shouldn't worship anything else. There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah. You shall not make graven images. And just like the idols before, we are not to have any other idols or Elohim other than Yahuwah. Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught. His name is the holiest name, is the name which uses the utmost respect. We do not want to bring it to naught by swearing by his name or using it as a curse word. Keep the Shabbat, the Sabbath. It is the seventh day. We are supposed to rest. We don't work. We don't cook. We don't clean. We just rest and worship Yahuwah. Honor your parents. They are the people that brought you into this world. They are the people that raised you. They are supposed to be held with honor. They are supposed to be respected people. Do not kill. We are not supposed to kill. Every life is sacred, and it is up to Yahuwah to judge whether they should live or die. Do not break wedlock. It is a covenant you should not break. Do not steal. Do not take what is not yours. It does not belong to you. Do not make false accusations against your neighbor. You are supposed to do everything in truth. You are not supposed to falsely accuse your neighbor. If it is not true, do not make the accusation. Do not covet anything of your neighbors. Be content with what you have and don't want what others have. Do not make an altar from a rock that a tool has touched. If you are to build an altar, it is supposed to be natural. It is supposed to be just of rocks and your hands alone. It is not meant to be done with tools. Do not go up to the altar by the steps. We are not supposed to, that was meant for the sacred holy people, and that was meant for a certain set of people, not regular people. If a man steals a cattle, you shall restore it 5 times. If you steal an animal, you are to give it back 5 times. More correct weights and measures. Yahuwah's laws for criminals. Yahuwah has a whole set of laws for people that steal, for people that deal falsely, the people that rip each other off. Do not lie with beasts. That is very unholy. That is a wicked thing to do, and Yahuwah says not to do it. No sacrifice to other Elohim. You are to have no other mighty ones before him, and you are supposed to do no sacrifices to anyone but him. He is the one to be sacrificed to alone. Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless or widow. These people are already oppressed. They are going through tough times. We are supposed to help them out, and if we oppress them, we make their lives worse than it already is. Do not charge your brother interest. If your brother borrows from you, you are to get what you are paid back. You are not supposed to take extra beyond what you have given. If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset. Back in the day when they had clothes, it was more than likely only the one set of clothes they had, so you would return to them before sunset if they lent it to you.
Do not curse the ruler of your people. Now, this isn't talking the orange demon, because this guy is not our people, and he's not the ruler of the people of Yah, right? This guy is not our people. And if you looked at the Torah commands and the judgment that you would have against leaders like the orange demon, he would be taken outside the city gates very, very quickly, right? He breaks Torah commands daily, like many of them. Continue on.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast. Do not eat the roadkill. Do not eat what has already been ripped up. It is probably sick and is probably having diseases. No false report. We're not supposed to make reports that are false. It's only supposed to be truth. And if we start making false reports, then we make ourselves liars.
Do not follow a multitude of evil. Now, that's the same as going down and everybody gets together and everybody goes and robs the little mini store. That also is the same as if you are if you are in the army or the military of the Babylonian system, right? That you are in there. All of this is a multitude of evil, right? If you're marching off to go kill people and drop bombs, even though you're the chef, you're the guy, the cook that's never even on the battlefield, but yet your job is to support those who are pulling the trigger, we have to understand that everybody's soul is up for judgment, right? That's the one thing that none of us are going to get past is Judgment Day. And Messiah Yahushua in the book of Nazarene very clearly tells us that everything that we do, either positively or negatively in this life, that causes a ripple effect that either does good or does damage, is going to be something that we're accounted for. So we're either going to be good or we're going to be bad. So as the chef or the janitor or the guy that has nothing to do with the battlefield, but yet you are supporting illegal wars, illegal operations for a country that is no doubt Mystery Babylon, well, we shouldn't be doing that. It's time to defect and to run away from all of that type of madness and work on guarding our soul. It's very, very, very important. Continue on.
Not judge unrighteously against the poor. It does not matter if you are poor, if you are rich. Everything is really judged according to the Torah. There should be no blinding of eyes. There should be no turning of heads when it comes to justice according to the Torah. Bring back your enemy's cattle. If you find it, going astray. If you see the cattle of your enemy going astray, bring it back. The cattle is not your enemy. The animal is not wronging you. Your enemy did, but so take care of the animals as they are Yahuwah's creatures. Help the animals of your enemy. If you see an animal that has problems, help it out. Don't attack it. Don't just leave it there because it's your enemies. Stay away from rumors and gossipers. You are not to be spreading rumors. You are supposed to be speaking holy things around the people of Yahuwah. You are not to be creating rumors and gossip. You're not supposed to be creating evil in the tribe of Yahuwah.
Take no bribes. Bribes blind the eye. It corrupts justice, and so you do not want to take bribes. You do not want to offer bribes. Stay away from these kinds of things.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger. So if someone needs help, help them out. Do not hate them. Give your land rest in the 7th year. This is the Jubilee. When it comes down to the 6th year, your crops should multiply double according to Yahuwah's word, and you will get land rest in the 7th year. That way the land get its own Shabbat.
Do not mention any pagan names. We are not supposed to mention any pagan names. We are supposed to say those. When we say those names, we invite demons in. We invite very demonic things in.
We are to keep the feast of Yahuwah. We are to keep the feast of Yahuwah that He has appointed for us. Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk. This is a pagan tradition. This is something that is very unholy to Yahuwah. It's an abomination to Him.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you. If Yahuwah sends a messenger, He sends an angel before you. And if he proves himself to be of Yahuwah, then you are supposed to obey him, you are supposed to follow him. If he says leave Egypt, then you leave Egypt.
Do not bow down to other Elohim. We are to only bow down to Yahuwah. We are not supposed to go after other mighty ones. Make no other covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land. You are not to make covenant with the people that are the pagans. You are not supposed to join in with them. That will only bring you more demons and more issues.
Do not make or use this anointing oil on a normal person. Do not make or use perfume on a normal person. Both of these things were special concoctions for the Levites. They were supposed to anoint themselves with, they were supposed to bless themselves with, and it was not for normal man to make, but they gave us the ingredients, how to make them, so that it's not forgotten, so the Levites know how to make it.
Do not eat the fat. That is part of the body that has a lot of toxins in it, and it belongs to Yahuwah. He likes the smell of it. Do what you say you are going to do. You are to keep your word. When you give an oath to something, you are supposed to follow through with it. You are supposed to do according to what you have given your word with.
Return what is your neighbor's. If it does not belong to you and it belongs to someone else, return it to them. Give it back to them. It is not yours.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws. You are to obey the dietary laws. You're supposed to, what He gave clean food and what He gave unclean food. You are supposed to obey this. You're supposed to follow this. This is for your life. This is for health. This is not a detriment to you.
Women's time of separation. Women are supposed to have the time of separation, supposed to have time of rest, and when they are dealing with their monthly stuff.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws. You're supposed to stay clean, and there are ways to become clean when you're unclean.
Keep the Day of Atonement, 𝐤𝐄𝐅𝐿. We are supposed to keep another day. It's not a feast day, it is Day of Atonement. We are supposed to repent for our sins. Once the Levites would go in and they would sacrifice animals for our sins, so that we would have basically a time of repentance so that we could start the year off clean.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family. That is an abomination for Yahuwah, and you would put to death for it. Do not take your woman's sister for wife. If you have more than one wife, you're not supposed to take the sister of your current wife. It only causes more contention and more issues. You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch. You are not supposed to sacrifice your children at all, but it specifically should not be to Moloch. Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness. You are not to enter into a woman when she is unclean. Do not be a sodomite. You are supposed to, that is a very terrible abomination, and you put to death for it.
Be Kodesh. Be holy. We're supposed to do everything according to Yahuwah's Torah. We are supposed to be Kodesh and be His people. And if we are breaking His laws and doing what it says not to do, then we are not being Kodesh.
Do not reap the corn of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard. You are supposed to leave a little part of your fields, of your crops, for the poor and the homeless and those who cannot provide for themselves. Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor. You should do things correctly and fairly with your neighbor, and you should not try and scam him. Do not lie or be a liar. Yahuwah wants honest people. He says you shall not lie. He says, this is a sin. This is a sin to the people of Israel. This is how Adam and Eve got kicked out of the garden, by a lie.
Christina would like you guys to slow down a little bit. You're reading too fast.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and let's touch on that thing. When it's, do not lie or be a liar. These are the commandments that, everybody knows the 10 Commandments, right? Everybody gets like, especially if you're in the Christian religion, right? They're like, yeah, we keep the 10 Commandments, but then we have that old pesky 4th commandment, right? That one out of the 10 Commandments, and I don't mean as a pesky one, but as in terms of a commandment that the people cannot deal with. It's the 4th commandment of the 10 Commandments. Now, we know there's a lot more commandments than 10, but the 4th commandment very clearly says to keep the Shabbat. And so that is one of these sticking points for those who are stuck in the satanic religious system, because they all come from a Sunday worship. And it's one of these things that there's no place anywhere in scriptures that we have that. But one of the cool things about the Torah, and if you guys, I think you guys would agree with me, right? Those who keep the Torah are going to be cool, good people to hang out with, right? Can you imagine hanging out with those who have nailed the Torah to the cross, right? All of a sudden there's like, do not lie or do not be a liar. If they don't keep the fourth commandment, what's a white lie? What's that, right? So basically, when we're around non-Torah keepers, and this should be right for Torah keepers, is that we're a different set of people. We're different structured, right? We don't hurt the disabled. We don't deceive this. We're not part of this nasty, nasty world where you have to wonder who's scamming who. And can you guys see out there? I don't know if you guys can see, but there is a ton of scams. Like, they are getting harder and harder and harder to detect. One of the scams is coming through that people are getting calls in the middle of the night, and the people are hearing that your mother has been kidnapped, right? The people that call in, it looks just like that, and the mother's not kidnapped. It's just some dude somewhere that has you trying to send off your money in the middle of the night as you're in confusion. The worse the world gets, the more the scams are going, which means the better the Torah-based world of the kingdom is going to feel, right? If we could go outside in the kingdom and not have to worry about the rest of the stuff that we worry about right now because we live in a Torah-less world, it would be nice. That's just my sense. All right, roll on. Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due. And gentlemen, come around here. I want you guys to, we're going to do this thing, and everybody come around here, so we're going to scroll this so it doesn't go fast. Remember the old scrolly? Okay. And so let's go super, super slow. And so here we are right here is, where are we at, everyone? Do not be a sodomite. Down. A little bit. Okay, here you are. Do not harm, pay your workers. There you go. Don't go past scrolling and discuss it, guys, as you guys are rolling through it. This is a very important thing. This guy's in prison will love you guys for this. Go for it. Yes.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due. You are to pay the workers for when they are due. You're not supposed to rip them off. You're not supposed to hold out their cash. Do not harm the disabled. They are already struggling as is. You should not try and make their lives harder by hurting them or attacking them somehow. Do not endanger your neighbor. You're not supposed to put your neighbor in danger. If you put him in danger, then you are possibly hurting him.
Slow down, please. Go a little slower.
Do not hate your brother. You are not to hate your brother. You are to love your brother. That is a person of Yisrael. Rebuke your neighbor for his sin. If you see your neighbor doing something, if you see him sinning, rebuke him. Tell him what he's doing wrong. And if not, bring others into it so that they can tell him what he is doing wrong. Love your neighbor as yourself. This is one of the greatest commands according to Yahushua, because you will not harm him, you will not rip him off, you will not lie to him. You will love your neighbor as yourself. Do not diverse your cattle. We're supposed to keep our cattle the same. We're supposed to have oxen and cow plowing together. Do not mingle your seed. You're not to mix multiple types of seed together when you are planting.
Do not mingle linen and wool. In the event of mingling linen and wool, what you're doing is you're getting a vibrational frequency that is not healthy, right? And this is not saying that you can't put like wool over this stuff like linen, but you don't want to intermingle the threads between that. And these are the kinds of things that if you did not know the Torah, then you could get yourself in a lot of problems. And so if you took linen and wool and you made a piece of clothing out of it and you put it on, then you're going to be sitting there with these weird frequencies that are jacking up the human system. So when people are like, well, the laws are dead and on the cross, do you kind of see that this is a very big tragedy to make, because simply linen and wool, we wouldn't know this. See, that was a great explanation, guys. There you go. Continue on.
Do not lie with a taken woman. You're not to go to a taken woman. You're not supposed to take her. This would be a stoning offense. If you took a woman that was already taken and she was with you, you would both be stoned outside the city gates. Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years. When you plant trees and they produce fruit, when they drop fruit, they're supposed to reabsorb them for the nutrients. You're not supposed to take them. Do not practice sorcery. Sorcery is black magic. It is demonic possession. It's stuff we're supposed to stay very far away from. So we are not, the people of Israel are not supposed to be with those people. We're supposed to have them on our land. We're not supposed to deal anything with that. Do not round your beard or the corners of your head. You are not to stylize your beard in the ways of the pagans. You are to grow your beard out or not have it at all.
Do not cut yourself for the dead. We're supposed to keep our bodies clean and pure. We shouldn't cut them for the dead. Do not get tattoos. Yahuwah does not want us to mark our bodies. He made us in His image, and if we start adding on to it, we deface the body that He gave us.
Do not prostitute your daughter. This is a sin to say graves, and this should be a stoning offense. If you did this, you were to stop this. This is evil. This is very wicked in the eyes of Yahuwah.
Yeah, and it's not just the commandment. You're not just breaking prostitution, but you're more than likely is you're breaking a whole bunch of commands, right? You're breaking adultery. There's also loving your neighbor as yourself. There's when you prostitute your daughter and your daughter's young, you could also say that that's breaking do not harm the disabled, because those who are younger and don't have like full-on world experience, and you're doing this to them. See, it's not just that we're breaking one commandment, but usually when we get into a problem, we're breaking multiple commands, which is why we really need to know the Torah.
Do not defile your temple. Your temple can be your body. It can be the temple that Yahuwah created. We're not supposed to defile either one. Take care of both of them.
Do not consult the medium. You are not to go to the black magic and sorcerers. If you were to go there, you were to be stoned outside the city gates. This is the reason Saul lost his life in the battlefield, because he went and consulted the medium.
Respect your elders. They are older than you, they've been around longer than you, and they are wiser than you, so you should listen to them. Have correct weights and measures. Yahuwah wants us not to rip off people. He wants us to be honest in everything we do, in our work, in our life. Everything should balance out.
And again, this is the joy of the Torah, right? If we were all in a Torah-based community, and this government of everybody that's like, I accept the Torah, I want to do the Torah, then you wouldn't get ripped off. Like, we go to the store, look at that. The box of cereal in the States is $10. I mean, this is a straight up rip-off con job that they're doing. And everything that's going on is not good. But this is why I yearn to live in a Torah-based society, to where we have these laws and regulations that the rest of the world doesn't have.
Do not walk in the manners of the nations. You are not to go in with the nation. You are supposed to celebrate their festivals. You're not supposed to do their pagan traditions. You are to walk according to the Torah. You are to walk in holiness and not in the pagan world.
Keep a feast of first fruits, Shavuot, or Matan Pentecost. It is a high Shabbat. It is 50 days after the Passover, and we are not to work or do anything on that day. Keep the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Teruah. It is the day of blasting, our shofars. It is the day of Yahuwah says the blasting, and it is also going to be a day of calling. It's a calling out to Yahuwah.
Keep the Feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret. This is the time when we celebrate in booths. This is the time when we celebrate being outside, waiting for Yahushua to return as a remembrance of the children of Israel in the booths.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death. If you take his name in vain, if you use his name wrongly, you would be put to death for it. If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another. If you, for some reason, your neighbor's animal ends up dead, you have to repay. Give him another of the exact kind. It's supposed to be, everything's supposed to be equal.
As again, more things in a great society of Torah-based. This is the world I want to live in. We're not here yet.
Repay injury for injury. You are to, back in the day, you were supposed to repay the injury for injury. Yahushua said, turn the other cheek, but Yahuwah wanted equal pay. He wanted things to be made right.
Honor the Yobel, Jubilee year. Whenever the Jubilee year comes around, Yahuwah wants us to obey it, and he wants us to follow it. Confess your sins, Yahuwah, repay who trespass against. If you have sinned, tell it to Yahuwah, confess to Yahuwah, and repay however you can to whoever you have sinned against.
The Torah of being a Nazir. If you were in the Nazirite covenant, you were to stay away from the fruit of the vine. You were supposed to stay away from uncleanness. You were going to grow out your hair until the end of your covenant was over.
Wear tzitzit on the four corners of your garments. Yahuwah wants us to wear a tassel, tzitzit, and it's a remembrance for him to show that we are his people and that his commands are always around us. The Torah of whoever touches a corpse. There were ways of whenever you touch a corpse, how you'd be unclean and how you would clean and to become clean again after touching a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance. Yahuwah had a specific way how he wants people to receive their inheritance, how that is supposed to be done.
Law of keeping your oath to Yahuwah. Yahuwah wants us to keep it. So when you make an oath to Yahuwah, you have to keep it. You do not swear to Yahuwah and then break your oath. It is a grave sin. And if a woman or a daughter was to make an oath, her husband or dad can stop her from the oath. He can deny the oath, but men have to obey their oath. Do not add or take away from the word.
One of the most important things that Christians do, they take away from the Word. And we should listen to everything in the Torah and not take away from it. Guard your soul. You are to protect your soul by keeping the commands of Yahuwah. You are to guard the soul. You are to protect it with everything you have.
Learn to fear Yahuwah. We are supposed to fear Yahuwah, or to have respect for Him, or to obey Him. If we spit on His commands or say they're on the cross, then we are not fearing Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart, and everything that we do, we should be loving Yahuwah. He should be on our mind at all times. We should be keeping His Torah and love Him.
Bind the Torah, the laws upon your hand, and the frontlets between your eyes. Guys, this is one of these commands that you have the religion of Judaism, and they literally will take I don't remember what they call it, like a talitha thing or something of the sort. It's like a piece of leather, and they wrap it around their arms, and they'll put a little box on their head and their forehead and stuff like this. This is not what this means, right? When we're talking about binding the Torah, laws upon our hand and frontlets between our eyes, we're talking about understanding the Torah. Just like right now, guys, when we're going through these laws, statutes, and commandments, what you guys are doing by simply going over them with us is you guys are putting them as right before your eyes, frontlets between your eyes. Because what this does is, guys, we cannot go through this world without looking through the lens of the Torah. If we do anything and we do it by ourselves without the lens of the Torah, we're going to make a mistake. We're going to do things that are outside the will and the wishes of our Creator. And this is why when we bind the Torah, it's literally that we know the first 5 books of Scripture so well that it becomes an intimate piece of us. Like it is just a foundational piece of our frequency that we live the Torah, that we love the Torah, that it's everything to us. And you don't live without it, right? We just do not take an adventure. We don't get up in the day. We don't go to bed without the Torah. Everything that we do is based on the side of the Torah, and that's what that means.
Write the laws upon your doorposts. We always write the laws on our doorposts and have them surrounding us.
Do not tempt Yahuwah. Here we are, living in this world, tempting Yahuwah. We're putting up golden altars or golden idols of ourselves, not ourselves, but the orange demon. I mean, we're doing the craziest stuff in the world. Like if you are trying to tick Yahuwah off, I think we got it. I think we figured it out. The recipe is very, very clear. North America is very, very good at this right now. And it's unfortunate because what happens is when we tempt our Creator, He's going to let it go. At some point, the patience is over, the mercy's over, and it's going to be an onslaught of everything like that. And so we want to make sure that tempting Yahuwah would mean that we have taken His Torah and put it in the trash. We stick it on the cross. We say it doesn't apply to us. We don't need it. That's tempting our Creator. It would also be tempting your parents. If your parents told you to do something and you said no, well, your dad is probably going to get out the hickory stick and light you up because that's the way it should go. Continue on.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah. What is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah would be following the Torah, would be following the commands, keeping the covenant, and obeying what He has told us to do.
Do not be afraid of your enemies. When you come against your enemies, Yahuwah says to be strong, courageous. Do not be afraid of them. That is a command to us, that we know that Yahuwah fights for us.
Remember Yahuwah. Everything we do, we should be remembering Yahuwah. We should be thinking about Him, and we should pass it down through all generations so He is never forgotten. Circumcise your heart. Circumcising your heart was entering into the covenant, was humbling yourself before Yahuwah, becoming one of His people. That is what it means to circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah. We are supposed to attach ourselves to Yahuwah, attach ourselves to His law, and be with Him. He is supposed to be the most important person in our life.
Swear by His name. If you make an oath, it shall only be in the name of Yahuwah, and you shall not break it. Destroy graven images. We are told to break down the graven images. We are told to destroy the false idols, the idols that were made up by man that bring in demons. We are told to destroy this and burn the ground around it.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with. Yahuwah has blessed everything. We're supposed to rejoice. We're supposed to be glad. Yahuwah has given us life. He has given us breath. He has given us another day on this earth. We should rejoice in everything.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes. Everything that we do, we should always weigh it by the Torah, if it looks right by the Torah, and not according to what we think. Do not hearken to the words of the false Nebiim, the false prophets. If there was a prophet that was chosen to be followed, you were to not listen to him. You were supposed to get rid of him. You were supposed to take him outside the gates and stone him. You are not supposed to follow what people that go against Yahuwah say.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. When people die, when you are not supposed to make baldness between your eyes, you are not supposed to do that as a process of mourning. It is something that the pagans must have done.
You should not eat any abominable thing. You should only eat clean food, and we should not eat any unclean food whatsoever. You shall give to a stranger of clean food that dies of itself, but you should not eat of it. If you have a clean animal that died, you cannot eat it, but you can give it to the stranger, because they probably need food. Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year. When you have increase of seed year by year, you're supposed to give tithe. It's supposed to be to the Levites, not somebody up in a pulpit telling you the easy way to hell.
The Torah laws for the end of the year, 7-year release. The Jubilee, we have I like to keep reminding us that this is the right kingdom, right? This is the right constitution. This is the right set of rules and guidelines. Where are we at here? Sorry.
The laws.
Which one? Sorry.
The laws 7-year release.
Yeah, so the 7-year release. Sorry, guys, I'm getting old. The years of this, basically, the government of the kingdom has a 7-year release, right? If you had some problems in a 7-year span, well, you wouldn't all lose your house. You wouldn't enslave yourself forever, right? There is a way out. Everybody's restored, right? The slaves is with you for 6 years. On the 7th year, they either stick an awl through their ear and decide they're going to hang out with you, or they're going to get paid and they're going to get sent on their way. And they're not going to just to get sent on their way. Good luck, have a good time, right? But they're going to have money and they're going to be able to start their new life. That is the government of righteousness. This is Yah's kingdom, guys. This is look how terrible the rest of the world is when Yah's kingdom government is amazing.
Do not borrow from the nations. You are not to be in debt of other nations. You are not supposed to be owed by them, because when you owe people, you are under their control. You are under their command. And then Yahuwah said, "Do not borrow from the nations." He does not want us following other people. He does not want us under the foot of pagan traditions.
Yeah, and you can see it right now. What's happening with borrowing from the nations is all the insurance companies and all the mortgages and everybody is just doubling and tripling up everybody's stuff. I mean, we're all doomed because we have broken this command. We have borrowed from the nations.
Sarah has a question.
Hi, Sarah.
On the laws of inheritance with blended families, does it follow the mom's or the dad's line?
So blended inheritance, how now? What's the question?
On the laws of inheritance
Yep.
with blended families, does it follow the mom's or the dad's side?
Well, it follows the dad's side. I mean, that's the way it's always followed. The males it's always been a male's thing. It's not really, unless the only time that we have that is if the male died and there were girls inside of the inheritance, and would fall into the female side. But I mean, this is all the male's side is the inheritance side, right? But I think that answers it. I hope that does. Okay, carry on, Phyllis. Where are we at?
Do not harden your heart nor show your hand from the poor. Yahuwah does not want you to leave the poor. Do not close your hand to them when they come begging. You're supposed to help them. That's why we're supposed to leave food in our fields so that they have something to eat.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar to know when the first month is, and we are supposed to keep it. There are lots of feasts in it, and we should follow those. 3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah. Back in the Holy Land, when it was during festival time, we were to return to Yahuwah. We were supposed to appear before Him. We were supposed to bring our sacrifice before Him. 3 times a year, we were supposed to. That was our way of showing up before Yahuwah, letting Him know we are His people. We are showing up before Him as the people of the household.
But I wouldn't go back to Jerusalem for probably the next decade or two. I mean, it's about to get blown off the map. So that's the old school command, right? This is the thing. We can't really do this in this day and age and make it back to this land because it's inhabited by people who it's not even their land. Continue on.
We're going to make judges and officers in all your gates. We're going to have people that can judge over us and help us. That we have disputes, when we have problems, they're supposed to be there for us, and they're supposed to have command over 50s or hundreds or thousands, and they would judge rightly between the people.
Yeah, and unlike the justice system in the United States of America, we deal with all the prisoners all the time, and it's a sick world. It is a sick world. It would be better at this point is if all the judges, all the prosecutors, all the attorneys, and everybody was all fired, and they literally put a computer up there. Like, you could judge somebody better with a computer than you can with these sold-out, useless system that never gets it right. It is not getting it right, and it could be done so much better. The U.S. is how it's not supposed to happen. Continue on.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar. You are not to have idols, make idols anywhere. But near the altar, that was even more of an abomination. That was something Yahuwah would deal with personally. He would take you out for this.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses. Yahuwah said when the matter comes, something happens, there needs to be 2 or 3 witnesses. It can't be the mouth of one person. There has to be 2 or 3 people that say this happened, and it has to be truth.
Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah is chosen. If a prophet comes and says it from Yahuwah, if what they say comes true, listen to them and listen to what they say. The prophetess of Deuteronomy, of Devarim, If there was a prophet test, it was that what they said would come true, or it would come from Yahuwah. If they said that let's go serve other mighty ones, you would not believe them. He would get rid of them. He would stone them outside the gates. Do not remove your neighbor's property line. Another command in weights and measurements and honesty and lying. You are not to take more than what you have. If your property line is already set as your property line, do not try and move it. Do not try and rip your neighbor off.
How to deal with false students among Torah keepers. You would listen to them, what they say is false. They would get what was done. They will get done to them what they want done to the other person. The first child get all portions. When the oldest child of the family, when the father passes, when it comes time to inheritance, the first child get all portions so that he can take care of the family and take his father's place.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost, and you find them, you must return them. Just like the animals of your enemy, you are to return them. You are supposed to bring them back to them. You have to bring them back to your brother. If you know who it belongs to, bring it back to him. Yahuwah wants an honest people that can be trustworthy, that can be trusted with little, and that can be trusted with much. A man should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman. You are supposed to be men are supposed to be men, and women are supposed to be women. He does not want abominations. He does not want confusion.
If you find a bird nest with the mother and the baby's eggs, take the babies but not the mother. You will take the babies and the eggs so that the mother can go off and create a new nest. If you eat the mother, then the babies die as well because no one take care of them, and you killed everything.
Slow down, Speed.
Do not be a prostitute. It is an abomination before Yahuwah, and anyone involved will be put to death.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that's able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it. If you have a flat roof, which many don't anymore, if you have a roof that can be lived on above, you're supposed to put a railing around it so people do not flip off and die from it.
Do not use dirty money. When there is dirty money involved, somehow it's dirty, you're not supposed to use it. You are supposed to get rid of it. You're not supposed to bring it before Yahuwah either.
The law of divorce. Yahuwah set up a law of divorce. He did not want his people getting divorced, but he set it up in a correct way with the people, the hardness of hearts, wanting to separate.
Do not take a person millstone for a pledge. Back in the day, that was basically their life. That was how they would get food, how they would make money. And if you took that from them, they would have nothing. If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house, get your payment. He must bring it to you. Turn clean before sunset if that was your pledge. You're not allowed to strong-arm your brother. If he owes you something, you don't break into his house. You don't take it back from him. He has to willingly give it back to you. And if he has clothing, you're supposed to return to him before sunset. Do not oppress the hired servant that is poor and needy. If you hired someone that are helping you, do not oppress them. Do not make their life any harder. Help them out with what they need. Every man should put death for his own sin. If somebody sins, they're not judged for someone else's sin, and you will not be judged for someone else's sin. So everyone is put death for their own sin.
Do not go back to the forgotten sheep in the field, leave for the stranger, fatherless, and widow. Just like not clearing out your entire field, if you left something, you obviously had too much of it, and it was for the poor, it was for the people that cannot provide for themselves. Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out the grain. If you have an ox and it's working for you, do not starve it. Let it eat while it's working. If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take the firstborn and name him after your brother. In order to honor your brother, in order to build a family in his name, to take care of his wife, you were to take the child, you were supposed to name him after the brother so that he can continue on the legacy in the name of his brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah, the Feast of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles. Every 7 years, you were to read the Torah so everyone could hear the Torah, because they weren't all able to access the Torah back then.
So there you go, everybody. These are these beautiful, tremendous, astounding, great idea commands that we've been given. And my apologies for us reading a little too fast. That is something that is, we're a family of IT people. And I don't know if you've ever heard these IT people go, but they speak a little too fast. And so we work hard to slow down speaking, but sometimes it doesn't go well. And we have to remember that we do need to go much slower. So thank you for that reminder. I do appreciate that. And let us get into this. So we are into an incredible, we're getting into the very first one that we're doing. And this is Bereshit. This is Genesis chapter 1. Now, the first time we read through this when we were doing live 3 or 4 years ago, we were reading out of the Targums. It was literally before Yah Scriptures was to the point of production that we could actually read it with you guys. And so we were still reading it with you, but we were reading out of the Targums. And that was an interesting read. There's a lot of interesting stuff of the Targums in of itself. It's not necessarily one that we would say is a great scriptures, but it's something that it's something to take note of for sure. And there's it doesn't get any more wholesome. It doesn't get any more in the beginning than Genesis 1, right? because this answers for all of us the questions of how do we get here? Well, we live in this crazy world, and for a while, you had all of these scientists and all these people that were telling us about, we were this little tadpole, and the tadpole swam around, and then it got some like frog legs, and the frog legs jumped out of the water, and pretty soon it started like flopping along, and then it grew a body, and then pretty soon the gills went away, and pretty soon there we have humans. But yet we have this theory of evolution, but yet we still have monkeys, right? Isn't that the craziest thing? They're like, well, we all evolved from monkeys. What about the monkeys that are still monkeys? What happened to them? Why didn't they evolve? Was there a certain thing that didn't, right? And so you look at this and you're like, well, that obviously isn't right. I mean, this can't be. And I've talked about it so many times, and I know a lot of you guys can just walk outside. You have a nice place to go. You can go walk out and take a nice jaunt. Hopefully you're out of the concrete kingdom. But everywhere that you look out here in these jungles, my Creator lives, right? I can't deny my Creator when I look at the creation that is all around us. When I look at, right outside our door, there's 3 or 4 papaya trees. Now, the 3 or 4 papaya trees, I didn't plant a papaya tree out there. At some point, we were probably macking on a papaya and threw it out there, and somehow it grew. And then that thing had some offspring, and there's papaya trees that are growing out of rocks. There's all this crazy stuff. And you look at the trees, you look at the birds, you look at the insects, you look at the harmony of the little critters eating the littler critters and the bigger critters going down, and the birds coming along eating those. It's just a cycle of life. And if there was 1 degree of anything changing, like if we didn't have mosquitoes, right? If we didn't have mosquitoes, that would destroy the cycle of what we have right here. If we didn't have fleas, if we didn't have ticks, all of these things are part of the cycle of nature that our Creator has built, and He built it in perfection. So let us get into the reading of Bereshit, Genesis chapter 1, and let us see if we can get to some truth in this. It's going to be an interesting one, so stick around, guys. In the beginning, Elohim created the Shamayim and the earth. So, for those who know other translations, the Shamayim is heavens, but this is the Hebrew word of Shamayim. And so we know the basics of Genesis 1:1 is that we had a Creator, and Elohim is not His name, but it's a title, and it is Yahuwah created the heavens and the earth. Let's begin. And the earth came to be formless and empty, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Ruach of Elohim was moving on the face of the waters. And Elohim said, let light come to be. And light came to be. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good. And Elohim separated the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, day 1. Now, a lot of people will say, Jason, we celebrate Shabbat, sunrise to sunrise. And for that, I want to, hands up, high fives, right? Everybody gets high fives, right? Big hugs, high fives. That is simply astounding that you guys keep Shabbat at all. Now, I'm not a critic of nighttime to nighttime or daytime to daytime, but what I would like to point out is that the reason that Boss Clan believes that it is sunset to sunset is based upon this chapter, right? When we are looking at how it's worded, and the wording is very clear. It's the same thing over and over, and it says this, and there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, day 1. So that's not just the reason that we believe that Shabbat is sunset to sunset. It also comes down into Exodus, Leviticus, right? When you have the Torah of how do you become ceremonially clean, right? If you have touched a corpse, what do you do? How does this happen, right? And it's always the same thing, right? There's a set time, and then there is a dusk, right, at night, and you can clean up, right? You can wash, and then you are clean at that moment. So for us, it seems really, really clear. But again, I'm not throwing rocks at anybody who keeps sunrise to sunrise, because there is not a single part of scriptures that gives us clarity. And so just the fact that you guys are keeping any of this means that you guys are obedient children of the Most High, so congratulations. So continuing on, let's go. 6. And Elohim said, let an expanse come to be in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters. And Elohim made the expanse, and separated the waters which were under the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse, and it came to be so. Okay, let's talk about what it just said, right? Let's go. An expanse came to be from the midst of the waters. So basically everything prior to dry land was water, right? And Elohim made the expanse, and he separated the waters which were under the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse.
So it's like we're in the middle of like water.
Yeah, we're
water sandwiched.
Yeah, we're water sandwiched. And Elohim called the expanse Shamayim, and there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the second day. Now, let's not start chucking rocks at me, because I'm going to go into something real quick. And there's a lot of people, and I don't want to make fun of anybody who is a baller, but there is no place anywhere in scriptures that I can find any kind of reference to what NASA, and NASA in Hebrew means deceit. There's no place that I can ever see that we're spinning 600,000 miles an hour around one way and going 1,000 miles around the other way, as we teeter and tot, as we just go through galaxies and endless things, right? As we read scriptures, it looks like it could very well be flat plains, right? It very well, you see things about foundations, see things about it's unmovable, you see things like all of this, but yet somewhere in the 50s, we had a group of people that were basically what they called Operation Paperclip. They were all the people that were hired out of Nazi Germany, all the scientists and everybody. They had an operation called Operation Paperclip, and they hired all of those Nazi people. And what did they do? They put them in this little thing called NASA, and they basically said, okay, we're a bunch of monkeys on a spinning water ball. And this is we're about to get sucked off this thing anyway. So the answer to not get sucked off, we're going to invent a magical word, and it's going to be called gravity. Now, this gravity is like something you can't define, you can't really see, but we're not going to say that if it's heavier, it falls, and if it's lighter, it floats. We're just going to call it gravity and just say things like a bumblebee defies this so-called word of gravity, because if something is being pulled down, a hummingbird, a bee, how can anything take off if we have this gravity, right? So there's all these lies and all this thing. And so I decided to pull up a couple of graphics, and I had it taken from the book of Enoch. And so I went to the book of Enoch, and I said, all right, let's get a couple of pictures of what does the book of Enoch literally say? How does this look? And so here we are right here, and this is based upon the book of Enoch. And so if you put together all of the things of Enoch and put it together, then this is essentially what we would be into. We'd be in a dome. Now, there's a big word that, we're about to read it about the firmament, right? There's a thing called the firmament. Now, does anybody, boys here that are here, anyone want to take a guess at what the actual word firmament means? Anyone?
Is it like land or foundation?
Okay, land, foundation is one. Anything? Anyone?
Solid, I don't know.
So this is the actual terminology of in the cosmology, in ancient and biblical cosmology. The firmament, translated from the Hebrew rakia, reference to a solid celestial dome created to separate the waters above the waters below. So to understand what this actual word means in Hebrew, what they meant is a dome, a barrier between the celestial side of this thing and between us. And so here we are, as we are looking at possibly what the shape of the world could be. And, again, I'm not going to buy this NASA stuff anymore. I've lived this, but let's all take a quick look at this. Now, a lot of people will go, well, how do satellites work? And the first thing I will tell you is you don't find any pictures of satellites. When you look for pictures of satellites, and guys, I've been in the tech world all my life, high-end tech world, right? I see all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, if you show me a picture of something that should be floating above our heads and it looks like a cartoon and there's no legit pictures of it. So we don't have any pictures of satellites. We don't have any pictures of supposed rockets that make it to the outer space. right? They show us pictures of like garbage bags on top of like metal in the thing, and they're like, look, we're on the way to Mars. Okay, well that sounds incredulous, but let's according to what the scriptures say, let's continue on. So, questions?
Do you have a link for the picture?
I don't have a link for the picture, but I'm sure that if somebody gets a hold of us somehow, I can send them all this. I went out there and I googled some of these. There's there's a couple of different pictures in here, right? Here, let me show you guys this one. This is actual. This is before. I mean, this is not something I drew up. This is what they believed the Earth looked like back in like 1800s, right? They thought the Earth looked just like this. And then you look at the flat Earth map, and you're like, well, that looks a lot like the same. People are like, well, why doesn't the water just fall off? Well, it's in a dome. I mean, so anyway, there's obviously deception right here, right? And we're just, we'll never know until the end is here. But
are we allowed to mention the UN logo?
Oh, the UN logo. Yeah, the UN logo as well is also the flat Earth map. Strange enough as it is. All right, let's get back into this. 8. Let's go start with 8. And Elohim called the expanse Shamayim, and there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the second day. And Elohim said, let the waters under the Shamayim be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it came to be so. So I guess we just think of like a giant swimming pool full of water, and then all of a sudden out of the water comes land, right? And the Elohim called the dry land earth, and the collection of waters he called seas. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth grass, the plant that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is it itself on the earth. And it came to be so. And the earth brought forth grass, the plant that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And there came to be morning, and there came to be morning, there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the third day. And as I was trying to sit there and think about this, and as I jacked up that verse, this is the same thing. This is another witness of morning, evening, and morning. Why does it say there came to be evening and there came to be morning? And a lot of people dismiss this. They'll go, well, that's just the way it is. Is it? I mean, wouldn't us as people, when we say morning to evening, isn't that how we've been trained? But yet, what a Hebrew day is from evening to evening. So let's continue on. 14. And Elohim said, let lights come to be in the expanse of the Shamayim to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and appointed times and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the expanse of the Shamayim to give light on the earth. And it came to be so. So right out of the gate, we're building the world, right? And I got some cool pictures on some stuff on this here as well. 16. And Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night and the stars. So here we have a description of the sun and the moon, and it says that it is a nightlight. It's a nightlight. But yet we have these people that they said that they went to the moon with their duct tape and rubber bands, and they made it through this Van Allen belt and radiation, and were able to make it back and forth and no problems at all, right? It's just like it is now, right? Nobody's going to the moon. Nobody's flying into outer space. Nobody's going into this. Guys, when you see these rockets launch, they don't go up into the sky. They create an arc and they go into the ocean. These things, there's no way out of this. Going back to the satellites and the various things, like how does satellite internet work? Well, they bounce it off the dome. And I can tell you that as an RF engineer who lived most of my life putting wireless signals from mountaintops to your top, you could absolutely bounce a signal with a high enough power off the dome. So all they're going to do is just put up a big old dish, massive amounts of power, fire it at one little location, and then you use your GPS on your satellite to dial into that exact same point. Now, a lot of people don't understand this, but let me try to keep this as simple as possible. For years and years and years, people have had satellite internet on their house. You go up to your house and you install the satellite dish. It's very, very finicky within 1 centimeter to the left, right, up, or down. If you miss this hot point, like it's almost nearly impossible to align a satellite without equipment. So once you align a dish to the exact pinpoint on wherever you're shooting to, you're done, right? The dish guy doesn't come out all the time. So what they're trying to tell people is that somehow you have a floating device that is up in the sky, that's floating all over, and this 1 centimeter pinpoint of a satellite dish never ever moves. Because if anything did move up there, then people would lose their TV all the time. They'd lose it every few minutes as a satellite leaves. But the satellite, there's no such thing, right? It's a stationary setup, and that's what I truly believe. And it doesn't matter, because none of this matters for any of this other than let's try not to get hoaxed. Let's try to break the hoaxes down as much as possible. Okay, continuing on. 17. And Elohim placed them in the expanse of the Shamayim to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And Elohim saw that it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the 4th day. And Elohim said, let the waters teem with shoals of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth on the face of the expanse of the Shamayim. And Elohim created great sea creatures and every living creature that moves, with which the waters teemed according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim barak, he blessed them, saying, bear fruit and increase, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the 5th day. Now, again, I'd like to take us back to this witness, right? Is it a coincidence that now, 5 times is there came to be evening and there came to be morning? In that order. It never ever switched. How can this be? It must mean something, right or not? I guess that's up for us to figure out. 24. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth a living creature according to its kind, livestock, creeping creatures, and beasts of the earth according to its kind. And it came to be so. And Elohim made the beast of the earth according to its kind, livestock according to its kind, and all that creep on the earth according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, big word, key word, let us, make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the Shamayim, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over all the creeping creatures that creep on the earth. What do we make of this us, fellas? Why are we speaking? Who is he speaking? Who's us?
According to other books, it says Yehoshua.
Yeah. So this is it. And a lot of people, when Messiah Yahushua says, "Before Moshe, I am," people are like, "Oh, right there, the Trinity. He just said he was God." No, he said before creation he was. That's right. He was absolutely with his Father prior to our creation. We don't know how long Messiah Yahushua was alive. We don't have a concept of what real time is, right? We have an understanding of what 365 days is, 24 hours, 60 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. We understand that. But as far as how long could Messiah Yahushua have been the Son of the Most High? It could be our billions and billions of years. We have no idea what that world was like, or it could be even longer than that. We just don't know. The key word is, a lot of people will take "let us make man in our image," and they'll make all sorts of things out of this, right? But the understanding is that our Creator was talking. He's like, let's make him in our image. This is not saying the Messiah is his dad is Messiah. It's not saying that our Creator has a wife. I've heard that before. I don't know if that's true. I've never heard of it. I've never read it anywhere. Maybe the sun is male, the moon is female. We know things like this. We don't know, right? But we can't take too much into it other than we know that Messiah Yahushua was with his dad. And so that makes this statement completely true. 27. And Elohim created the man in his image. In the image of Elohim he created him. Male and female he created them. And Elohim barak them. And Elohim said to them, bear fruit and increase and fill the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the Shamayim, and over all the creatures moving on the earth. Okay, so guys, those who have been with us long enough that read the Torah commands every single Shabbat, right? These are where the Torah commands were built from. We went through it before 3 years ago. Prior to that, like 4 or 5 years ago, we went through this series called The Unknown Commandments of Yahuwah, because we did not know how many commandments of Yahuwah there were. We heard the Jews, they said there's 613 of them. We started counting them and started reading what they considered commands, and they said the same thing like 5 times over. And so we knew there couldn't be 619, or 13, or whatever they say, but we didn't know how many there were. But this is where we began this quest to find this, and these are some of the very first commands that we ever have. We get commands in Genesis chapter 1, be fruitful, right? And this is all part of it. 29. And Elohim said, see, I have given you every plant that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it is for food. Now this is something interesting, right? We don't have animals being in our food, right? Our Creator right here did not say, go have a steak. Didn't have everything. You know, there's so many people, they'll get hooked up on this stuff, and like prior to this, we're supposed to be a vegetarian, or prior to this, there's a lot of things that we don't understand, but we do know from Genesis chapter 1 that it didn't seem like these guys were meat eaters, right? And I wouldn't imagine in the Garden of Eden that you would have Adam go cut a cow's throat or something, right? It just seems like more of a peaceful place. You know, the animals, talking back then, doing all this kind of stuff, and they would have not very nice things to say if Adam is trying to cut their throat. So it's something to think about. And I don't think people say that all the time. Well, it's based upon this. We're only supposed to be green eaters. Guys, there's a lot of valid reasons for both carnivore-style diets and vegetarian-style diets, or a mix of it, right? It's not a sin to eat meat, right? We have Leviticus 11. That gives us our dietary laws that very clearly say this. But back at Genesis chapter 1, it wasn't so defined, right? It was plants, animals. It was plants, not animals. Continuing on. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the Shamayim, and to every creeping creature on the earth in which there is breath of life, every green plant is for food, and it came to be so. And Elohim saw all that he had made, and see, it was very good. Again, the last witness here, guys, and there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the 6th day. Amazing. What an incredible book. Gentlemen, what did you guys get out of that? Come on.
I mean, that's the day of creation, that's the very beginning of everything, our whole world, so that's the beginning of everything.
Yeah. What do you got? Kate, you got anything?
Oh, he said like a lot of it was very good. Like everything he did, he was very happy with how everything turned out. And there's very rarely time we hear Yahuwah is very happy with how his creations are ending up. So this is a very important thing for him when he created this.
All right, let's go down the guessing game. On the day of creation, this day when Yahuwah put everything built everything, right? Basically, this is day 1. And he put all the animals together. He put all this stuff together. Do you think that he had a laboratory, that he had been working on these things for billions of years prior to this, or did he just go kablooey and it's all perfect? And when I say perfection, guys, if we lost half the fish in the sea, it's going to kill off the world. If we lose the birds, it's going to kill off the world. If we lose certain things, it's going to change absolutely everything in our environment. So my question is to all of you guys, including Sleeping Eli, is did he make this on this day to perfection, or had he been working on these for all these years? Anyone?
I think he'd been working on them.
I mean, we have the messengers. We know he had the messengers. We had the shine. He had definitely some sort of creations already up there, so he had something already in mind.
Do you think, and answer that for me, Jay, do you think it was...
I mean, I think he had probably done some kind of test. I mean, obviously he created something before. I mean, he has his son, he has the messengers, he has wherever he's reigning from. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely...
So you think he has a lab? You think Yahuwah has a big lab?
I don't know if it's a lab. I don't know if he needs a lab.
His
he has somewhere he creates
the kingdom lab where things would come out. And I don't know. I mean, everything's so perfected, right? I mean, everything in creation is perfected. So anyway, let's get into the next thing.
It says no sleeping, Eli.
Yeah, no sleeping. Who said that?
Caleb.
Yeah, no sleeping, Eli. Caleb's sticking up for you, too. Caleb always sticks up for you, little Eli. All right, so here we are, guys. We are in the book of Yahushua. And so now we're going to be going on three separate readings, right? We're going back to the Bereshith. We're going to continue on in Joshua because we've already made it through the Torah, and we want to continue on where we're at. And we're also going to stick around in the New Testament a little bit. So somebody give me a breakdown Didn't we already do Joshua 1? No, I guess we're not. This is Joshua 1.
This is
Give me a breakdown of our homeboy Moshe from the days. Actually, let's go through creation to the first day on the job of Yehoshua. There you go. Anyone.
So we have creation. We have Yahuwah who created the garden. He created the people, and Adam and Eve got kicked out of the garden. And they basically brought in the hardened ships of the world. And they have the sons. They have Sheth, who after Abel died, Sheth has many kids, and Sheth's line brings forth Noah, who basically saves generations from the flood, who has a boat. And we have Abraham. We have the lines of Abraham. We have Isaac. We have Jacob, and we have this 12 tribes that get stuck into Mitzrayim. They get stuck as slaves. They get stuck as people for 400 years before Moshe, who Yahuwah has anointed, who is from the tribes of Israel, returns to free the people. And he spends 40 years with them. From the time he freed them, he spends 40 years teaching them the commands, teaching them the way, bringing them out of slavery, bringing them out of their pagan traditions. And from those pagan traditions, he fights for 40 years. It's just 40 years of struggle, 40 years of issues, to the point where he couldn't even make it to the land. It was just such a struggle. He couldn't even make it to the land because of how frustrating these people were. But he dies. He gives up the ghost, and he puts Yehoshua in charge in front of the people and said, "This is your new leader. This is going to bring you into the land. Reverence him. He is the one that is going to take my spot." And so now we are here with Yehoshua. I believe Yehoshua was quite old himself here. I believe he's around 70, 80 right here.
He's 90.
He's 90? He's old. He's old too. So he's kind of got experience with this. He doesn't have like the relationship Moshe had with Yahuwah, but he has an idea of what to do, so he's going to try and save these people.
Yeah, and so let me see. Can you read Jeremy's thing on the meat part of, it's just down just a little bit.
He said quite a few things.
But he's just talking about eating meat was, considering that a sin.
It says, what was the offering to make the coats of the animal skin for Adam and Eve? And then
basically we got to take
say offering and sacrifices weren't done is also incorrect, as Cain and Abel were making offerings.
The one
that
right
involved
before
the
that,
animals.
right under that. I can't see, my screen is too small. Anyway,
to say eating meat is a sin is making a grave error in one's idolatry.
yes, absolutely. That is very, very, very clear. And we've had these discussions with people before, right? And they basically pick up the rocks and start chucking them at you because you eat meat. And they're like, well, it was never meant to be. But it's the same. And like Jeremy says there, Cain and Abel. I mean, Adam and Eve. If you read the book of Adam and 𝐤𝐄, Adam and Eve were making sacrifices, right? There were sacrifices being made after they were expelled out of the garden. That's how it all came to be. And so there were sacrifices early on. And so, this is nothing new. And I've heard that too. I've heard the same thing Jeremy says, is that, people are like, nobody else is doing sacrifices. But maybe no mentioned for morning dawn offering by Adam at cave, though. Frankincense, galbanum, tea leaves, spices, the rising of the sun from the time of yeah, that's true. I mean, it doesn't say, there's no meat mentioned. So I don't think it is a sin to eat meat. You get into that. I think it's what religion is that? The one with the bad seer, the one that has the blind seer that passes out. Seventh-day Adventist. Yeah, the one with the blind prophet that keeps like passing out or something and coming back, and she's not blind, but she was like going to these like 3-hour trances, and then Ellen G. White. Yeah, and they would they would say that like eating meat makes your man like a lustrous guy or something like that. I mean, she came down here, we were like eating meat, and I'm like, oh boy, I don't know what to even think. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, we got to look at scriptures to look at scriptures, right? You can't just look at Genesis 1 and say, yeah, we're vegetarians, right? Nobody else ate everything, because everybody else is eating meat, right? We have Passover lamb. I mean, like, what do we make of this, right? Yeah, the vegan eating meat is a sin, people. Yeah. And you get some weird stuff, but I mean, as far as like, is this a sin? No. I mean, we have Leviticus 11. That is our guide point. We know what it is, right? Is it a sin to eat shrimp? Yes. Pigs? Yes. Camels? Yep. Horses? Yep. Humans? Yep. So, it's just what it is. All right, let's get into this, guys. And these are why I love having discussions with you guys, man. It's so much fun to hang out with us, dealing with the stress of getting this thing going. Once it's going and we're able to hang out with you all, then it becomes amazing. How many verses do we have? 18. Okay, Joshua chapter 1. And it came to be after the death of Moshe, the servant of Yahuwah, and that Yahuwah spoke to Yehoshua, son of Nun, the assistant of Moshe, saying, Moshe, my friend, my servant is dead. So now arise, pass over the Jordan, the river, the Jordan, you and all his people, to the land which I am giving to them, to the children of Yisrael. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads, I have given to you, as I spoke to Moshe. Now, guys, this is the craziest world that we live in. Prior to the United States attacking Iran, the state of Israel was untouchable, right? We can't say, well, we think that Judaism is a little satanic, right? Because they would kick you right off YouTube. But now that Israel's the number one hated country of the world, and the United States is the second. So you look at this. So now we can actually talk about things like this, right? Because these are the things. Today's so-called Jews believe that the words coming from this chapter right here, right? Every place on which the sole of your foot treads, I have given to you as I spoke to Moshe. Now, these guys that are over there will take all of the Old Testament, basically not the Old Testament, they will take just the Tanakh, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, along with all of their other books, and then they are thousands of years away from these writings, and now these people are like, this is our land. This is our land. And they will actually say, because Amalek did us wrong, we must kill Amalek from the land. So they go over to Lebanon, and they've killed like 4,000 people, right? They go to Gaza, they go to Palestine, they go killing off all these people. The problem is, these guys are invaders of Yahuwah's people. They are invaders because take a simple Google search and type in abortion clinics Israel and go look at the map. And you will see from one side of Israel to the other, you can go and have your kids slayed. There's one that's open till 11 o'clock at night. So when you're trying to convince me that you are God's chosen people and that you are better than everybody else who is attempting to keep the actual Torah commands of our Creator, I'm not buying it. I don't buy anywhere in scriptures that you could go to Moshe and go to an abortion clinic. Moshe, I just got knocked up. I don't want to have this kid. Can I please, can we kill him? My wife just did that. Was knocked up not the right word?
No.
Yeah, that's not in marriage. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend everyone. Maybe I said that wrong. Anyway, I got pregnant, and I don't want this kid. Thank you. Sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to. So, what do? You think Moshe is going to send you to the abortion clinic that's open to 11 o'clock? Just go over by the Jordan River. There's an abortion clinic, right? So when we're trying to figure out who are Yahuwah's people, who are the actual people of Yahuwah? Well, they are the people who are guarding the first 5 books of scriptures. And when we're guarding, we do not allow other stuff in. We wouldn't allow a Kabbalah. We wouldn't allow a Zohar. We wouldn't allow their little tree of life thing. All of these things that they're doing right now it's all satanic. It's all satanic. You cannot violate Deuteronomy 4:2 and add to and take away from the Torah of our Creator and be God's chosen people. It doesn't work like that. But yet we've hoaxed the rest of the world. So now we're just in a little reprieve where I can actually say some of the stuff liberally without netting Yahoo blowing me off the internet. Continuing on. 4. From the wilderness of this Lebanon, even as far as the great river, the river Perath, all the land of the Kittites, and to the great sea toward the going down of the sun is your border. No man is going to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moshe, so I am with you. I do not fail you nor forsake you. And again, we have a reiteration. We have yet another witness of these 4 words that we've heard before, that we've discussed, and is something absolutely important for all of us today, right? It looks like to me that we are going through the birth pains, right? We're going through a terrible, terrible time that's going to be happening in the world. And these are the same words that if we're sitting here living in fear, we're not being strong and being courageous, right? There's going to be some battles probably for all of us, worldwide. It doesn't matter where we're at. But our Creator has told his people back then, and he's telling us right now to be strong and courageous, right? because we have the Torah, we have our Creator, we have our Messiah, we have messengers that are guarding us. So why would we not want to be strong and courageous? 7, only be strong and very courageous, to guard to do according to all the Torah which Moshe my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it right or left, so that you act wisely wherever you go. Now, guys, remember that Torah command, guard the Torah commands of Yahuwah that are reiterated over 53 times in the first 5 books of scriptures alone? Well, here's number 54, right? This is number 54. It's reiterating it, continued on. We're out of the original Torah, but yet this is what we have. These are the instructions by the mouth of our Creator to Yahushua, to anybody who considers themselves the people of Yahuwah. What do? What is the message? Only be strong and very courageous. We got it. We want this. But to do what? To guard, to do according to what? To all the Torah which Moshe, my servant, commanded you. Now, when you tell people that this is for all times, that our Torah is not just for that generation, but it is all times, it is all peoples, it is everywhere, it is for today, tomorrow, and forever. Well, Moshe gave us yet another witness. Don't go to the left, don't go to the right, right? That little path, that little road past that gate. We hear about that in Matthew 7, right? We hear about the little gate. There's a little gate, it has a way to get in. Most people make it through the gate. But then there's this wide road of destruction, and people are topping to the left and the right, and they're just dropping off. It's the same thing when Messiah says, right? Sometimes the seeds are planted on rocks. Sometimes they go deep in the soil. Sometimes they get roots. And this is what Torah-based people are, the people that have roots. And you never get roots unless you read the Torah. You will never become a child of the Most High unless you read the way of rooting your own life. Do not let this book of the Torah depart from your mouth. What? Joshua, what are you saying? Yahushua, what are you saying right here? If the laws are dead, they're on the cross, they're in the ditch, what do you mean when you say, do not let this book of the Torah depart from your mouth? Okay, well, I guess that clears out nailed to the cross, right? Right outside the Torah, we hear, do not let the book of the Torah depart from our mouth. But what do we do with it? We meditate on it day and night, so that you guard to do according to all that is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous and act wisely. Guys, this is it. This is number 55 reiteration. We barely make it out of the Torah. And the largest Torah command that is in the Torah is now continued on. And we have another 2 commandments, right? We just got another 2 commandments to reiterate the same commandment that we have. It's the same thing. So here we are. Don't let it depart from our mouth. Meditate on it day and night. Okay, it's not in the trash. 9, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, nor be discouraged. Why? Because Yahuwah our Elohim is with you wherever you go. Friends, family, I can't see a place, a world that's looking good. I can't say a year from now it's not going to be civil war all the way around the world because of the famine that they are orchestrating all around us. They are literally taking away power resources, gasoline, electricity, natural gases, everything that is important. And, you see the stock market going to the moon. Nobody can figure it out, right? All these companies, everything's going to the moon. Why is everything going to the moon when the rest of the world is getting destroyed? Well, because you have all of these companies that are ripping out all the employees. They dump 40,000 employees and bring in AI. They're making a lot of money, right? 40,000 employees there, 8,000 here, 20,000 here. They're just getting dumped left and right. And these companies, all these companies that have been out there that we have invested in through all these years, now they're really, really rich. All of a sudden, they have 40,000 less payroll. So now the bosses get really rich, everything. So yeah, they're going to do great. They don't have to have humans in there, right? They got the AI. Boom. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens to the world. It's not going to go well. 10. And Yahushua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the midst of the camp and command the people, saying, prepare food for yourselves, for within 3 days you are passing over this Yarden to go in to possess the land which Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you to possess. What I missed?
I have pictures of the river.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay. So this is what I want. This is something I want to talk about, guys. This endeavor right here. These guys are going over the Jordan River, right? They're going over the river. This is the same Jordan River that every single one of us have the opportunity to go over, right? If you're looking for a religious system that defines you, what would it be, right? Are you going to be called a Christian? No. What about Muslim? No, I don't like those values either. Well, we know that we have for ourselves Torah, right? That sounds like a good thing. But Abraham, Father Abraham, was a Gentile. He was a Gentile. He came out of the land of Gentiles, all of these other things. So there was no Jews back in the days. There was no religious system. What Abraham was called, which he identified as, which may be the best title for all of us, is called a Hebrew. Now, Hebrew, the word means crossed over one. Crossed over. What are we crossing over? Well, we're crossing from death to life. We go from Torah-less to Torah. We go from Messiah-less to Messiah. We go from those people to the people, right? And so if you're ready to pass over the Yarden, if you're ready to go into the Jordan, it's the same instructions that we had back in the day. It's also the same blessings, and it's also the same curses. Now, remember when Moshe was talking to the people just a couple chapters before, and he says, you guys are going to go over there, you're going to do great things, but you're all going to go in captivity. You're all going to get taken in. You're all going to ignore the words of our Creator. You're going to go into idolatry. You're going to go into harlotry. You're going to do all this kind of stuff. These same rules and regulations and blessings and curses and structure are here for us today. We have to choose to go over the Jordan River. We have to choose to go over the Yarden in the way that we should be going. Continuing on. 12. And Yahushua spoke to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh, saying, remember the word which Moshe, servant of Yahuwah, commanded you, saying, Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you rest, and he shall give you this land. Let your wives, your little ones, and your livestock stay in the land which Moshe gave you beyond the Yarden. But you shall pass before your brothers armed, all your brave fighters, and shall help them. Until Yahuwah has given your brothers rest, as unto you, so shall they also take possession of the land, which Yahuwah your Elohim is giving them. Then you shall return to the land of your possession, and you shall possess that which Moshe, the servant of Yahuwah, gave you beyond the Yarden, toward the rising of the sun. Now, what is he talking about with these little tribes right here? Do you remember?
Yeah, so basically they got their own part of the tribes because they like the land better. And
Do you remember who this was?
The three tribes?
Yeah, which one stayed before?
It's the Reubenites, the half-tribe of Manasseh, and
The Gadites.
Gadites. And so basically prior to this, what Joshua was talking about right here is when Moshe was going and they were moving through the land, the Reubenites, the Gadites, and
The
half-tribe of Manasseh, they saw a land, and these guys were the farmers, right? These are the rancher guys. They decided, hey, we want this land. This is really good for our stocks and stuff. And Moshe he's a little fumed up, right? He's like, oh yeah, you just want to sit out while everyone else is out here battling it up. And they're like, no. Let us put our families in here, then we'll armor up and we'll go to town. We'll fight with them. And so this is what he's talking about right here in this thing. And they did that, and they did it well. There was no issues with that. 16. And they answered Yahushua, saying, all that you have commanded us, we do. And wherever you send us, we go. According to all that we obeyed Moshe, so we obey you. Only let Yahuwah your Elohim be with you, as he was with Moshe. Whoever rebels against your command and does not obey your words, in all that you command him, is put to death. Only be strong and courageous. This is interesting because up until this point, we didn't have any of the people talking about being strong and courageous, right? And then it's been said, 6, 7 times in the last 3 chapters, something like this, be strong and courageous. Now the people, they might be getting it, right? Because the last 5 words of this is only be strong and courageous. Now they're talking more about Yehoshua, right? They're like, we're good as long as Yahuwah's with you, and that, just remember what Yahuwah said, be strong and courageous, right? Reiterating it, right? So obviously the words didn't fall on deaf ears, but you can look at this, and there probably was a problem with a little bit of courage, right? Probably a little bit of weakness, right? Not everybody wants to fight. Not everybody wants to get into a fight. Not everyone wants to battle to the death. It's some people just, it's not for them. And so these are, again, words for all of us today, all of us in the future, as fear gets a hold of you, and fear is of the devil, right? Fear is absolutely of the devil. There's a difference between being in fear and being aware of what is going on. And I do like to talk about current events. I do like to talk about things, especially as I see it affecting all of you guys out there, because I'm very concerned about all of you guys. I'm very, my home people. You guys, everybody out in North America, you're my people. And so I will always love North America, my people of North America. I don't like the country. I don't like the people running it. But guys, be strong and courageous for what is coming, and Yahuwah will guide us through all of this. All right, let us get into the book of 1 John. Here we go. Okay, we're on to chapter 3, 𝐤𝐄𝐄𝐅 1. Jade, do you recap for us? 𝐤𝐄𝐄𝐅 1, 2?
Yeah, so this is the disciple of Yehoshua. He walked with him for the time when he was out, creating enemies, making friends, doing miracles. And he tells these people to be holy, to obey the laws, to love each other. And he sat with Yehoshua, and he sat through the death of Yehoshua. And then he doesn't think the laws are on the cross. He doesn't say the laws are gone. He doesn't say the Torah's bondage. Even after all these years, after Messiah is gone, he writes to these people and tells them to keep the Torah, not be liars, don't break commands, don't cheat on your spouse. And so he still teaches the commands after years of Messiah being gone from him.
If I ask you guys what was the hardest command that you guys had to keep, what do you guys struggle with the most in your personal life? Anyone want to go on the spot?
The hardest, like,
this is good. This is confessional. This is it. Here we are.
Are we doing the brotherly love thing again? Because I really don't.
That's a good thing. There's no lesson here. I'm just saying.
I don't hate my brothers. I joke with them, but I don't hate them, and I don't have contention against them. I'd say probably the hardest one would be Sukkot.
Sukkot, that's true.
That is
a hard one.
And we have a really hard time with Sukkot because we got 9 pit bulls.
But no, that's also if we do the tents outside, then it's rainy season here.
And we drown and the dogs will rip the side of the tents. It's a mess. We've tried Sukkot. It's tough.
And
the snakes. Yeah, those are tough too. All right, Eli, anything?
I like Sukkot. Probably Day of Atonement.
Day of Atonement. That's the hardest time.
Maybe. I don't have an issue with that one.
So I think my hardest command that I have to deal with is loving my neighbor as myself. And I say that simply because we live in a retail. We live in just taking care of the people that are purchasing Yah Scriptures apps. People come in the email and they tell me how much of a piece of trash I am, and how much it's the Elohim versus the Elohim, and I am a heathen. I am this and that, and I have a tough. False advertising. We give away all the scriptures for absolutely free. And people buy it, and it says Elohim and not Elohim, and so they are like, you are a deceiver and you're a criminal. And I have a very, very, very hard time smiling and telling these people I love them. And I understand it. People get very, very wild over this kind of stuff. But it's one of these things I don't do a great job, and it's the point of the Torah is not to fail it. The part of the Torah is to realign our lives in every last bit to make sure that we are doing the best that we can. And every day isn't going to be like, man, I'm doing good. I feel like I'm walking the Torah well, or I feel like I'm on the kingdom road. Because that's the part of the kingdom road, is that there's always room for work, and there's always room to look at ourselves through the lens of the Torah. And, we can't deal with yesterday, but we can absolutely deal with the future and make sure that when we do what we're doing, that we soften our hearts a little bit, soften our responses and things of that nature. So here we are. Hope that helps someone out there. 𝐤𝐄𝐄𝐅 1, 1 John, chapter 3. See what love the Father has given us, that we should be called children of Elohim. For this reason, the world does not know us, because it did not know him. All right. How's that sound, guys? Do you guys want to be called children of Elohim?
Yeah.
Would you rather be called children or friend of Elohim?
That's a good one. I feel like friend is like...
Come close.
Friends like him on Moshe, him on a personal level kind of thing.
Right.
It's gonna be really hard to do.
I think it's one of these things that I think those who are friends of Elohim are truly children of Elohim, right? Because we will try to do what he wants us to do. 2, beloved ones, now we are children of Elohim, and it has not yet been revealed what we shall be. But we know that when he is revealed, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Okay, that's kind of a big one, right? Essentially, it's like what we are going to become is closer to our Messiah than what it is now, right? And there's some interesting stuff when Messiah Yahushua says that even in the kingdom, the people who are lesser are going to be as good as 𝐉𝐄𝐄𝐅 the immerser. You guys remember that one? Mm-hmm. Right? So it's like when Messiah said this kind of stuff, and you're like, oh boy, I got to be more Kodesh, I got to be more holy than 𝐉𝐄𝐄𝐅 the immerser, the bug eating, totally Kodesh, totally the preparer of the way. How is this possible, right? How is this going to be? And it gives us a glimpse into the world of the kingdom, right? There's not going to be this kind of deception. There's not going to be this kind of stuff. We are aligned. We are realigned. And this is the Torah road, is that we are practicing the Torah every single day so that we are accepted into the kingdom to come. Because the kingdom to come will be using this exact same Torah as the government ruling system. So it's not. Can you imagine that? You're sitting there thinking you're going to be pulled away in your rapture school bus. You're eating your pork. I'm on my way, and you're just lawless, right? You're just completely lawless, and you think that something good is going to be. Number one, we're not like our Messiah. Our Messiah didn't eat unclean food. He didn't do incredible, crazy stuff that went against the Torah. So 3 goes, and everyone having this expectation in him cleanses himself as he is clean. Everyone doing sin also does lawlessness, and sin is lawlessness. Okay, well, this is a hard thing, right? Because all of these scribes have said lawlessness is law, it's Torah, it's all this other stuff. But it's very clear that your absence of the laws of our Creator make you lawless. If you have taken the laws of our Creator and tossed them in the trash, nailed them to the cross, that makes you lawless. Now, you're not lawless because you don't know what sin is. It's because you don't know what sin is, and you're still going to have to be judged for that certain thing. Sin is lawlessness. 5. And you know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him there is no sin. Messiah is sinless, right? Completely. This is why he became the perfect sacrifice for us, because he walked the Torah perfectly, which made him the perfect Melchizedek priest. The priest for us that doesn't have to atone for himself for his sins, and he can completely atone for us. 6. Everyone staying in him does not sin. Everyone sinning has neither seen him nor known him. Okay? So this is a Christian conundrum, right? This is the Christians will like, well, we have Jesus, so we don't sin. It says it right there. Everyone staying in him does not sin. Okay, well, how do we take this? Cade, what does that mean? Everyone staying in him does not sin.
We are going to walk the Torah life. When we know him, we know that there is going to be Torah. It does not mean we're not going to stumble in the Torah, but it means we are no longer going to live in sin. We are no longer going to live in the ways of the world, which we did before.
And you can't stay in our Messiah if you haven't stayed in the Torah. If you do not know the Torah, you will not know the Messiah. You will have no idea what he's even talking about. You won't. It's going to be a mystery to you. But yet, does that explain all the religious systems? Because everybody seems to know the J-Man. Everybody's got it. Everybody knows him for sure. 7, little children, let no one lead you astray. The one doing righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. The one doing sin is of the devil, because the devil is sin from the beginning. For this purpose, the Ba'in, the Ben, the son of Yahuwah was manifested to destroy the works of the devil. Everyone having been born of Elohim does not sin, because his seed stays in him, and he is powerless to sin, because he has been born of Elohim. These are verses that you can very much get very twisted, right? Me being able to take it without it going. Jay, go lay down, please. Go ahead. Okay, sorry, Jay's got a headache. I gotta get him out of here. 11, because this is the message that you heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. Not as Cain, who was of the wicked one and killed his brother. And why did he kill him? Because his works were wicked, but those of his brothers